Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the experiment where we're looking at the contenders for the Arsenal role. I'm going to try and make this one a bit quicker than the last one. When I was editing it, it was a bit long. I was editing, I got it down a fair bit, and with how long that video was, you can imagine how long it must have been to start with. So we're going to try and whiz through this one a little bit. There's going to be no ranting about Arsenal fan TV or anything like that at the start. We're just going to go sort of straight into the contenders and look at the same things as what we did last time. One we are going to just mention, since obviously the last video, the season has finished. Arsene Wengers managed his last game. A few bits in the news have come out. It looks like Arteta is quite possibly the leading candidate. Vieira has been approached, but he feels it was just a token gesture, so not too sure about that. I'm going to skip a couple of the ones that I had gone through the saves for. I'm going to skip Thomas Tuchel because it looks like it's come out this week. He signed a deal with PSG, so looks like that one's off the table. There's a couple of others on the list that I'm going to show on the screen right now, obviously from the odds. I think one of them was Conte, and there was I can't remember his name, I think it was the Schalke manager. Gone very quiet. Not really heard much about that. I don't think Conte will be staying in England if he leaves Chelsea. He'll probably go back to Italy. We've also got a couple more on there I think I haven't done, and a couple more, one or two more that have come to the fore since before. One of them is rumoured to be the Liverpool assistant manager. I forget his name. Is it Budek? Something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. But again, it's gone very quiet. Not to say it won't happen, but I haven't done a simulation for that. I've been working on this one sort of very much since the last one ended, and I've got all the stuff I had prepared, and then that one sort of came out of nowhere, and I haven't had time to sim the season. If anyone wants to see that simulation, I can maybe do it as a one-off part 3 or something, or if anything else jumps up, I can do it as a one-off episode. But we're going to jump straight in now with the first one on this list, which is I don't think he's going to come up, is it? Yes, he is. Joachim Low. He is still manager of Arsenal, so he is still in the job. Let's see how he got on in the Premier League. I always get confused with that. It says first in the Premier League. Obviously, that is a throwback. Well, not a throwback. So it's the start of the new season where I've got past the point. So as you can see there, Man United won the title. How did Arsenal compete with them? Finished third. Not bad. Joint, well, 3 teams on 73 points, Chelsea, Arsenal and Tottenham, and then Liverpool back on 70, and Man City even back on 67, so really tight. Even Leicester down on 64, really quite tight in these spaces, and Man United just, 5 points, winning the title, far and away outscored everyone. Liverpool come close in the goals, as did Man City to a degree, and quite tight on the goals conceded as well. So Palace, Newcastle and Huddersfield going down. None of the actual ones that it happened to. Stoke just above. Swansea I think went down just there. And who was the final one? It's completely slipped my brain. Southampton survived. Who went down? This is West Brom. Of course it was West Brom, and they're there as well. So none of the usuals, none of the expected ones to go down, or it hasn't predicted the relegation correctly either. So we'll have a quick look at the schedule. How did he get on in other competitions? So there we go, back for season. I've got to do that every time, I keep forgetting. So Community Shield lost to Chelsea, disappointingly. So the Carabao, let's do it by filter. So just to get everything out of the way. Oh, come on. Right, so we don't need to see that because we're not in those. So Carabao Cup, got to the final, won the final, beat Chelsea. So along the way, beat Villa, Sheffield United, Wolves, Cardiff over the 2 legs, and Chelsea. So good, he gets a cup straight away, not doing too bad. Not the cup you'd be wanting to get, but a cup is a cup, I suppose. Then we go to the FA Cup, knocked out the 5th round in a replay against Swansea, beat Borough, beat Burnley, and lost to Swansea ultimately in the end. A 1-1 draw at home, losing 2-1 after extra time away. So not great in the FA Cup. Can't carry on Arsene Wenger's tradition of being successful in the FA Cup. And then the last one really is the Euro Cup. Got to the final and won it, beating Besiktas. So good run there. So Braga, some Israel team, I think that is Hapoel Beersheva, no idea, and Austria Vienna. Got through that group fairly comfortably, just one draw in there, away to Austria Vienna. And then a good win against Zenit in the first knockout round. Everything I look at is Aubameyang scoring goals. He must have got some numbers this season. Maybe not. Feyenoord, another good result. Olympic Lyon and Bilbao in the semi-final before beating Besiktas in the final. Obviously, the last time Arsenal got to the final of Europa League, or equivalent, I guess, was a Turkish team and lost to Galatasaray on penalties. I think Georgi Hagi played in that game. So yeah, getting one over in that situation to some extent. And I've just seen a player he signed, from what I can see, and I think there's rumour that he is going to be a player we sign soon. We'll come to that shortly. So Brozovic has come in this season. We're not really too concerned about that. But Pavon has come in, as has Ross Barkley. I thought it looks like we've offered a contract to him. Sorry, then Papadopoulos, is it? Papadopoulos?
Hey, how you doing? Puffy or Diddy P Papa Diddy Pop? I'm sorry.
Papastopoulos. I'm slaughtering the Greek names. I'm not even going to try. He's from Dortmund. Apparently, we are on the verge of signing him, so that's an interesting crossover. Pavon, the young Argentinian winger from Boca Juniors, always seems to come good in the game. So he's signed. He did quite well. And Ross Barkley. Everyone seems to sign Ross Barkley. Why is it with Ross Barkley? Do not rate him in the slightest. He was decent at Everton. He's gone to Chelsea now, hasn't really done anything. Anyone out? Just loans, so nothing really there. In terms of staff, can't see that he's made too many changes. No, it doesn't look like it. Jens Lehmann's there already. He could be the scout, I'm not too sure. Not really that important. And we're going to see who replaced him at the club. It is... well, also not the club, it's the country. Rafa Benitez, of course. So who replaced him at Newcastle? Don't know why we're bothering to check that. Wrong one. Milestones, Newcastle. He resigned. No manager currently. So I'm not too sure really what's going on there. And let's have a look and see if Wenger got a job in this save. I don't think we saw one at all in the whole of the last episode. And he hasn't here either. It doesn't seem to be. He is wanted. Who's he wanted by? So we could, if we forwarded it a bit further, we might be able to... why is it not? Let me see. Bayern Munich. I think we see a couple of wanteds, but nothing really that was set in stone. Obviously, I don't think he's actually signed for anyone. So, yeah, slightly interesting there that Bayern Munich seems to be a goer for him. But that's the end of Yogi Low, Joachim Love, whatever his name is. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this one I'm hearing is less and less likely. There's rumours of him possibly being Everton, I think, although that may well be Marco Silva. Is it Mauro Silva? But it's Unai Emery. He is still in the job, as we can see. Left PSG, sacked from PSG, not too sure which. So let's see how he got on. And we go to the Premier League, I think, first. That's what we check. We're still in the job, we know that, obviously. Let's see how he got on in the Premier League. Man United, the holders again. It seems to be a common theme. Finished third. 1 point behind Tottenham, unfortunately. A few clear around City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Palace, Brighton and Newcastle going down. Fairly similar to the last 2 of the 3, I think, from last time. West Brom just above, Stoke up here, and Swansea up in 8th. Wow, so I've got that very, very wrong. But Man United lost 2 games all season. They absolutely steamrolled it even. So yeah, not too much to say about league tables. I don't think anyone's managed to win the league yet. So we'll have a quick look at the schedule, see how they got on in in the other competitions. So We'll start with the cups like we did last time. Carabao Cup. Got to the final, won it again. Blackburn in the third round, easy. MK Dons 3-1, Newcastle 3-0. Liverpool over 2 legs, a good result there. It looks like there's a few fringe players playing in this as well. Maitland-Niles is in there. Mavropanos obviously playing his debut against United the other week. Played really well in that game. And then Watford 3-1 in the final. Not really troubled. So that's interesting to look at. The FA Cup next. Got to the final and won that, so he's done the double. And it's Sheffield Wednesday in the final. Remember in 1993 we won the cup double, the League Cup and the FA Cup, and it was Sheffield Wednesday in both, but he's done them in just one of them this time, but beat both Sheffield clubs. Sheffield United in the third round. We had Bury in the fourth round, Reece Nelson. So you can see Eddie Nketiah played against Bournemouth in the fifth round, so there are some fringe players in there. We've got Leicester in the sixth round. All quite comprehensive victories really. Semi-final Liverpool again, same as the Carabao Cup, fairly comprehensive in that. And the final against Sheffield Wednesday, who how did they do in the Championship? I haven't got it loaded, so it's probably not going to show it. Was the only tricky one, taking it to extra time, but enough in the end. I was clicking on the wrong one, I was like, I didn't say extra time. Aubameyang on the 99th minute. So they actually took the lead. 89th and 99th minute Arsenal goals. So yeah, Hakim's. We've seen a spoiler for the transfers there already. Let's have one last quick look at the Europa League. And if he can win that as well and get a treble of cups, then he's certainly no. So in the group, Krasnodar. That's Steaua Bucharest, isn't it? Yeah. Haven't got that name pack on. And this Oostende from Belgium. So got through that group, absolutely no problem. I'm not even pronounced that team name. Dodgy Gamer, I know you like your Turkish football. If you're watching this video, drop me a comment. How do you pronounce that team name? I'm not even going to attempt it. There's far too many funny letters and omlauts in there for me to even try and attempt it. And I know omlaut only because of Ozil. But then Fenerbahce, another Turkish. Actually, I'm going to check that. Is that a Turkish team? It's got to be a Turkish team. It is. Yeah, and then Fenerbahce in the second round to knock out. Too much for Arsenal, and they go out on away goals, unfortunately. So he didn't do too well in Europe. Let's see who he brought in transfers. I saw one of them. Brahimi turned it down, and Fezja was on his way by the looks of it. So who did he bring in? Matt Macy's gone to Sheffield Wednesday, of all people. Sartori's coming in this season, young Italian bloke, don't really know him. Ziyech from Ajax was the one I spotted. Expensive deal. How did he do? Not amazing. Not amazing. Not a lot of players that come over from Holland do too well. Not a lot of players in Holland do too well. I'm sure Ted Redwood Gaming could vouch for that. And Alex Telles, the left back, I think it is from Porto, Brazilian guy. I think I've got him in my FIFA team as well somewhere, floating around. Use him now and then. Did delete my Portugal team, so probably not so much anymore. Though I do use a Brazilian team, so he might be my backup to Sandro. But again, didn't really do too much. And Edson Alvarez, Mexican club, he's a Mexican as well. He looks a very solid centre back. And he only played one game. I'm guessing he came in January. Did all 3 transfers in January. Yeah, he only played one game, which is a bit surprising, but then Koscielny and Mustafi are very much established, so maybe not too much. Let's have a look if he changed his staff at all. Unai Emery, it doesn't look like he did. Nothing of note anyway. Let's see who replaced him at the club. So it would have been PSG, wouldn't it? It's not going to find it based on that, is it? So we go to, it might not even show it because I don't know if I've got the French League uploaded. Oh, okay, we don't need to check the next page then. Wenger went to PSG. Obviously I haven't got the league loaded, so can't look too much. When did he join? Has he just joined, or did he join? He joined right away. So what's that, the Community Shield equivalent possibly? Got through to the knockout round of the Champions League. Brought back Carlos Vela under his management. Scarpi, Malambi, made a few signings. Beat Chelsea, not Chelsea out of the Champions League. entered the Worldwide Hall of Fame, thought he might be there already. Won the French Cup, Coupe de Liga. Won the Champions League, the quarter-final against Bayern. Won the semi against Man United. And got runners-up in the Champions League. Who beat them out? No. Surely not. Surely not. Tottenham, of all teams, beat him in the final. Wow. What a way to potentially nearly end his career. So he won the French Cup and he won the league. And then he sold Meunier to Tottenham. He's the right back, I think, isn't he? Belgian right back? Yeah, he is. Sold him to Tottenham. Oh, what a way to do that. And I did mention in the first video that I thought PSG would be a likely destination for Arsene. So yeah, I think that's the end of the Unai Emery part. Let's go on to part 3. And this guy isn't a manager on the game. He has been a manager. I think he's most known as a manager quite predominantly through his career. But he's a sporting director now, I think, at, is it Hoffenheim? I've got it written down. No, it's Red Bull Leipzig, RB Leipzig, whatever you want to call him. So he is still in the job. We're not going to bother at some down the line looking at his director of football is his job on here. I think he's sporting director, something like that. Maybe director of football. We're not going to bother looking at who's replaced him because no one probably has. So he's still in the job. So let's see how he got on this season. So Premier League, as you can see, Man United have won it again. Can he second, 3 points off, and quite clear of third, Tottenham, and fifth, Man City, well, trailing back. West Ham, Brighton and Newcastle go down. Again, 2 of the 3 of last time. Very similar teams going down. West Brom just above, Stoke a little bit up in 13th and Swansea in 11th. So not anyone quite as successful as Swansea that were in the last one. But let's see how 3 losses. That's pretty much the difference. 1 more than Tottenham, Man United even. Goals are pretty much on par. A couple more conceded. Probably one of the closest seasons yet. Let me know down in the comments. I went through so many in that first video that I can't remember if anyone did win the league. Feel free to drop me a comment if you can remember that happening. But yeah, it was just a bit of a blur that video. Like I say, it went on for so long as well. Let's see how he got on in the competition. In fact, we'll check transfers first because you can actually see that in some of the competitions. So he's approached Tierney this year. Gilmore's been offered and Joel Campbell is leaving. Not surprisingly there really. So this season Macy's gone again to Oldham. Bielik's gone out to Aberdeen on loan, and Britannia, who I assume is a young guy, 23-year-old striker, looks okay. Did okay in Serie A last year. Pardon me. Yeah, so not a bad signing there for, well, it's an expensive one, but probably not worth that sort of money. We'll have a look at who else he's brought in. So Julian Goles, Austrian, he's out on loan already. Yeah. Donny van der Beek from Ajax, he's an interesting one, good midfielder there, but probably not the sort of midfielder Arsenal need right now. You know, they need a hard tackling kind of leader in there. He's very much a, it says hard working midfielder, and yeah, maybe. I don't think he's got the, you know, he's quite short, his strength's quite low. I don't think I've managed him on Ajax, he's not that strong. Kiota is probably more like it at the back. He's a very strong centre back, 6 foot tall. He's valued at 31 now, cost 11. Don't know why his value's tripled in price, but nearly tripled in price. Didn't have the greatest times, but he signed from, I don't even know who SPO is. I can't remember. But he's signed, and then Ziyech again. Not as expensive as last time, I don't think, and did about the same really. So not too much to say there. So we'll have a quick look at the competitions. We'll leave the Carabao Cup open and we'll go back a year. So Carabao Cup, got to the quarterfinals, lost to Burnley. I didn't tick friendlies. So the third round was Bolton, fairly easy win. Norwich in the 4th round. Danny Welbeck with a hat-trick, and Ozil getting the only goal in a 2-1 loss to Burnley in the quarterfinals. So disappointing run there. FA Cup wise, third round beat Wolves 4-1. good win there. Aubameyang and Nketiah. I think that's how he pronounces his name. Obviously, I've seen some of his goals, but didn't really hear too much of his name being said, other than Eddie. Man United in the 4th round drew 1-1 and then lost in the replay at home, annoyingly. So yeah, a bit of a disappointing one in the FA Cup there as well. We'll have a quick look at the European Cup. Second knockout round again. So through the group, it's that Turkish team again. Dodgy game, you're going to have to bail me out here. Lokomotiv Moscow and Olympique Marseille. Got through the group again relatively easily. Then the first knockout round against Rangers, interestingly of course. Back in European competition now and getting to the knockouts as well. And then but lost to AC Milan. 2 0-0 games and penalties. I'm sure they were 2 riveting ties. Yeah, not great. So we don't need to look at where he ended up, who replaced Rangnick, because it's not really relevant. But let's see if Arsene Wenger, 2 in a row, has gone anywhere. He doesn't look like he has, unless he's been sacked already. Nope, he didn't go anywhere. So it's just the one so far. So this is part 4 of this one, of this episode. So the next potential Arsenal manager. This is one I'm quite excited about. If we got him, I think it would be a massive appointment. I don't know too much of him before his current role, but he's done amazingly well there. Overturning PSG, Emery's PSG, in fact, I think, in the league that one year. And obviously Mbappe coming to the fore in that team before going. But it's Leonardo Jardim. And he's Jardim. Anyone wants to correct me again, go for it. But he's still in the job. So let's see how he got in the league. It doesn't look like he's won it, and it looks like he's a bit lower than the last couple. So Man United again. This is getting very samey. But Arsenal finished down in 4th. It's not horrendous. Above Tottenham. Not St Tottenham Day was pretty much the last day of the season there. Burnley in 7th, so that's quite reminiscent of real life. Brighton, Newcastle and Palace, I'm pretty sure we've seen those 3 already. Everton, Stoke, Swansea and West Brom very close down there. But yeah, Man United streaming it again, not letting many in, scoring quite a lot. Good combination. Arsenal outscoring but out conceding Tottenham, but it was enough to, the goal difference was superior. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about superiority because at the moment I cannot claim that. Historically, yes. This season, in the last couple of years, no. Although if Pochettino leaves, we could see a little bit of a crumble. This stadium, I think, with Tottenham would be interesting, because obviously that was sort of the start of the decline of Arsenal as a competing team, was the stadium, because we weren't able to compete in the transfer market as well. So that would be an interesting thing to look at over the coming sort of year or two. So we've offered Nastasic a contract by the looks of it, a centre back formerly of Man City, and Kasper Dolberg, which would be an amazing signing. But that's for this season. Allen has signed, obviously someone who's linked with United this summer. I think United, possibly City and Chelsea, I'm not too sure. Macy goes to Oldham again, and Joe Willock goes on loan. So Storaro comes in from Juventus, 8.5. I actually signed him in my Arsenal save as well. Played him a couple of games, realised he probably wasn't up to the job. Yeah, I think he had a role that I just wanted in my team, and stopped playing that formation, I think. So I think that's what it was. But he didn't do great. Pretty much like my one. We signed Almiron from Atlanta, who I think have someone. Is it the old? Oh, Ezekiel Barco they've got. I'm pretty sure is that. They've signed Barco. I've signed him obviously for my Shakhtar save. He's a bit of a fringe player at the moment, but he's certainly good enough. It's just we're not playing the attacking fielders quite so much now, and we've got one who's slightly better. In terms of outs though, Jack Wilshere to go to Man City for $5 million, now worth 27.5. Obviously he was going to be out of contract at the end of the season, so that possibly prompted that. And then he goes to Dortmund for 10.5. Didn't do too great. It's probably money well spent, money well earned even. Luis Alberto comes in. He's the centre forward, is it? Okay, centre attacking midfielder from Lazio, Spanish guy. I think he played for Celta Vigo. Oh, I've got him completely wrong. Played for Liverpool. I do recognise the name. I do vaguely remember that. Okay, so he's at Lazio now. I've seen him on FIFA. He's got an inform, I think. He's a centre forward inform. That's why I said that. But 27.5, and didn't really do anything, so not so money well spent. And Louis Schwab, I think he's a right back. No, I'm completely wrong with him again. Attacking midfielder, a winger by the looks of it, yeah. He's gone to the World Cup, so he must be okay. He's Austrian. Austria obviously got there. From Rapid Vienna. Oh, there is a Schwab. I think he's a right back or a left back. This is obviously a different one, but he didn't do too great either. So yeah, let's have a look at the schedule. Let's see how we got on in other competitions. Again, not doing too well in the Carabao Cup. I've got friendlies ticked, so let's tick that away. So second round, beat Newcastle. Third round, sorry, beat Newcastle 2-1, and then lost on penalties to Man City. I mean, it's Man City. You can't say too much really. It's a tough one. The FA Cup, Swansea, and lost to Newcastle in that this time. Danny Welbeck with the goals. Yeah, not doing too well in the old cup competitions. His old Jardam did get to the second knockout round. It looks like there's so many games, but it's primarily because of the group games. But Partizan Belgrade, Jokoloni's that Polish team, and Freiburg from Germany got through the group, no problem. Austria Vienna, who obviously I signed that player from, Schwab, I think it was, beat them no problem. But then FC Porto were just a little bit of a step too far. Got the away goal 1-1, but then lost 2-1 at home. That's not good enough. We've looked at that. Let's see if he's brought his own staff in. They don't seem to really do it. I think we only had one who brought one person in, so we might even stop looking at that. Let's have a look who replaced him at Monaco. What are the odds on it being Arsene Wenger? No manager by the looks of it. They didn't replace him. Apparently, it's because I haven't got the French league loaded, so that's more than likely why. Let's see if Wenger did go anywhere. No, he didn't by the looks of it. No, left Arsenal, and that was it. So that's the end of the Jardam section of the experiment. This one I'm hearing is less likely to be a likelihood. I'm hearing he's probably going to stay where he is. Is it Julian Nagelsmann? I had Nagelman written down for some reason, but it is Nagelsmann. He is still there. It's the young guy who is, I think he's Hoffenheim or Schalke. No, Hoffenheim. He's Hoffenheim. Did they not get relegated? Maybe not, but he's getting plaudits over in Germany, so they must not have done. I know some big teams did go. I can't remember off the top of my head. No, it was Hamburg. I knew it was an H team. Pretty sure it was Hamburg. Kevin Keegan's old team, of course. Don't know why I mentioned that. It's very irrelevant. So he's still there. Let's see how they got on in the Premier League. Man City win it, so at least it's someone a little bit different. And wow, Arsenal down in 5th. He really didn't do very well at all. Just about getting 5th on goal difference from Liverpool. Miles behind Tottenham in 4th. And then even further. The top 2 were pretty close. Man United just pipped. Lost a lot of games, but Man City drew a lot more. So they just reversed the draws and the losses there. So yeah, didn't do too well in the league. You know, maybe he's a bit of a cup manager. Who knows? Let's take a look at the transfers. So Kiota he's going out. He's there already. Ziyech. Again, it looks like he's going to be signed, and Aaron Ayoma, young Nigerian from Bradford. Don't know anything about him. So Justin Kluivert has signed already this season, in the new season, so we don't need to worry about it too much, but fantastic little sign in there. Looks like a guy from Red Bull Salzburg, Croatian centre-back. 21 years old, good for the future, looks quite solid. Didn't really do much in 14.5 million, more than I expected him to cost, but he could be good. Giovanni Dos Santos, ex-Tottenham player of course, Mexican sort of attacking fielder, striker, bit of a flair player. Did okay for 6 million, it's not too bad. Obviously an ex-Barcelona graduate, never really sort of settled in there, a bit of a journeyman in his career, never really made it anywhere, but he's still, I was going to say 212 million, and he's gone for in his career, but it's not, it's 21. I was going to say Zadas, someone I signed for Arsenal, ended up selling him after a year to Newcastle. Inter want him on loan, and he didn't feature at all, so no bearing there. And the new left back, Ryan Bertrand, comes in from Southampton for 26 million. Did okay. At the start of the season, left back was a concern. We brought in, oh man, his name's just completely slipped my brain. he didn't really play too much. It seemed to be Monreal playing more. Kolasinac. I'm absolutely face palming myself right now for forgetting his name. Just a bit of a brain freeze, really. But we brought him in, but he doesn't really seem to be a solution, really. So, yeah, left back was obviously under Nagelsmann's consideration as well. So we'll have a look at the competitions. We know the Premier League. We just want to know the Carabao Cup right now. He got to the semi-final, lost to Newcastle, but I've still got friendlies every time. Third round, beat Leeds comprehensively. 2-0 against Stoke, again quite easy. Brighton 3-1, quite easy up to that point. And then Newcastle 1-0 at home, but lost 2-0 away. So out of that competition, unfortunately. Carabao FA Cup even won the final. So beat Forest Green Rovers in the third round, beat Wigan in the fourth, Wolves in the fifth, Chelsea in the sixth, Southampton in the and then in the semi-finals, and then Man United 1-0 in the final. Lacazette sort of banging goals through that last couple of games, getting the all-important goals to fire him to the title, the FA Cup title, and adds another one into the Arsenal record books for the FA Cup wins, carrying on the Wenger tradition. And Europa League, Europa of Moscow, Honved of Hungary, I believe, yes. And Young Boys from Switzerland got through the group easily enough. The Young Boys, at the end was the only game that was a slip up and already qualified by that point. Fenerbahce in the first knockout round, again quite easy. Actually losing the home game, winning 4-1 away from home, but losing the home game. Freiburg in Germany, we've seen both those teams pop up a few times, and Lazio, all these three teams. Losing on away goals to Lazio in the quarterfinals, though, unfortunately. That one goal conceded at home was the killer. So won the FA Cup, but yeah, nothing too crazy to shout home about. Let's see who replaced him at Hoffenheim, if indeed we can see that. We cannot. And did Wenger make his way to anywhere else? He did not, unless he's been sacked, which is very unlikely. Nope. So that's the end of the Nagelsmann experiment in this Arsene Wenger. Yeah, this Arsene Wenger one. Who have we got next? Let's go on to the next one. So this one's one that's been mentioned as a big job contender for a few years, possibly Arsenal even as well. It's not been mentioned now, but he was obviously on the sheet there. Eddie Howe, who's done quite a remarkable job at Bournemouth, really. Another one, similar mould, who's been sort of banded about a little bit now is Wagner at Huddersfield. There's a couple of others who've done quite good jobs this season, unexpectedly. So there's a few names being banded about who I haven't done, again, like I say. But Eddie Howe is still there, and let's see how he got on in the league. Obviously knows the Premier League a bit more than some of these, certainly the ones tonight. Let's see how he got in the Premier League. It's Man United, and finished in fourth, 2 points clear of Liverpool, good few more clear of Tottenham, but miles back off third, Man City. And then Man City and Chelsea were close, and Man United again just stormed it. Bournemouth, his old team, getting relegated, along with West Ham and Stoke. The game got right this season. So he's still in the job. Let's have a look how he got on in the other competitions. We'll have a look at the transfers first of all. Anyone there? A couple of players we've seen before. Nothing amazing to worry about. Chervi, Argentinian guy, winger, coming in already this season, but again we're not too worried. Ruben Neves from Wolves. Did Wolves get promoted? They did, but they'll be doing it without Neves for this season. But they signed him this season. I'm looking at wondering why he didn't play. But Nketiah has gone to Palace on loan. Let's have a look at the actual real season. So it's all just loans out. We've got Emre Mor, the young Turkish guy, formerly of Dortmund. Is he at Vigo permanently now? He looks to be. Was that just on the game? Didn't do anything there, and then didn't do anything at Arsenal either. They sold him for the same money that they bought him for, which is very strange. Vigo, but didn't really do anything. And Abubakar, a player I had on my blog save around the world. I had him at Orlando when he was about 35, 36. and he was still a beast in the MLS. So, a bit disappointed to see he didn't do a bit better than this. 5 goals in 13, 6.88, not great. He would be tailor-made for the Premier League. I think he's big, strong, powerful striker. Yeah, I think I'm surprised he hasn't made a move to the Premier League yet, or no one's gone for him. Maybe not one of the top 4, top 5 teams, but certainly someone in that middle pack, who can afford the money. Maybe someone like a Leicester or West Ham, someone like that. So the transfers, not great. League, not great. There's no staff brought in, I don't think. I have to kind of stop checking this now. I'm going to stop. I think I might do the odd one just if I think they might do it. But we'll have a look at the schedule and we will mark off what you need to look at. I've not been looking at the Community Shield. Not really overly important, but okay. That's for this season, obviously. So we know the result of the the Europa League already. But Eddie Howe did beat Chelsea in the Charity Shield, Community Shield, what you want to call it. Carabao Cup. Didn't get very far at all. Swansea in the third round. Leeds in the 4th round, and Man City in the quarterfinals, beating us. The FA Cup. Got to the 5th round, lost to Chelsea. So 2 replays in there. Yeah, it doesn't look. It looks. You see them run at games, you think, oh, they've done alright. No, it's the same team over. Brentford 2-0 in the 3rd round, but then West Brom. Oh, Rubicard getting a couple of goals of his Arsenal career in this game. 3-0 away, 3-0 at home, but then 1-0 at home to Chelsea and lost 2-1 away in the 5th round. So a bit disappointing, but hey ho. Clicked on the wrong one. There we go. So he obviously did win. Oh wow. Okay, in the groups, Vitesse Arnhem, Astra, I think is from, is it Kazakhstan, something like that? It's Romania. Oh yeah, Romania. And Marseille, pretty standard group qualification really. Low promoted Moscow in the 1st round, again comprehensive. Ajax, interestingly, in the 2nd knockout round, again fairly easy. Hoffenheim, Nagelsmann's team, is he there? He is. He's still there. Tougher than it should have been. Well, not should have been, but tougher than some of the other games so far, certainly. And then beat Roma in the semi-finals. But Shakhtar Donetsk, they've still got Paolo Fonseca. Let's see how they. I'm just interested. I want to see how they did in their games. So they're Juventus, Sporting Lisbon, and Monaco. Scrape through that group. Beat Copenhagen. Scrape again. Zenit with a scrape. Olympic Lyon on penalties. Sevilla. Yep. And then lost to Arsenal. Interesting to see how many new players they've got, or different players. I mean, the team is completely different. Not surprisingly, I've overhauled that team over the years. But interesting to see the orange and black in there. But he wins the Europa League, beating Shakhtar along the way in the final. So that's a nice little, tip of the hat there. Let's have a look who replaced him at Bournemouth, and obviously ultimately took them down, of course. Not letting me search. My keyboard is going haywire. So Bournemouth. So we're in the Sky Bet Championship now, and it's Gerardo Martino. Now, surely he actually replaced Eddie Howe. Interesting to see if he keeps this job. Depends how he gets on in the Championship. If he's struggling in the Premier League, he's certainly going to struggle in the Championship. Let's see if Wenger ended up anywhere. Doesn't look like it. He is wanted. I didn't notice this on a couple of the others. Might have been. It seems to be always Bayern. Don't know if they sack their manager quite frequently or something, even though they win pretty much the league every save. A bit like Man United doing this one. But that's Eddie Howe looked at. We will. So we've only got 2 more. This one and one last one after this. We are flying through these quite nicely, I think. So there shouldn't be anywhere near as long a video as previously. So this one is someone whose name's always been bandied about. I don't think he'd take it now, even if he was offered it, especially after what's happened tonight as I'm recording. I'm recording this on the Wednesday night. so you can probably get a clue from this. I don't know when this video is coming out. I'm hoping tomorrow, Thursday, maybe Friday. If not, maybe over the weekend. But it's Diego Simeone. And to be honest, two of my friends who are Arsenal fans both really fancy him as manager. I think a lot of Arsenal fans will be divided because his style of play probably isn't befitting Arsenal. I think he's got a winning mentality though, and he's fierce. He instills some fear in that team and some backbone and some fight. I think in that regard he'd be a good appointment. It's just you might have to lose a little bit in the tappy football, but let's be honest, Arsenal haven't been playing that the last couple of years anyway. It's been quite atrocious football, really. Not the best. I mean, not terrible. I mean, it's very much first world problems. I mean, if you're looking at someone like West Brom or Borough, like with Pullis, it's nothing like that. But from what we've been used to over the years, it's not a typical Arsene Wenger football this year at all. Probably wrongly tried. It didn't really work out. But let's see how Diego Simeone got on. Did he bring that? And look at his stats, they're amazing. Probably the best one we've looked at. Did he clinch that title? Premier Division. He didn't. Man City though, not Man United. Did he get second? He did. Oh my word, look at that. Look at that league title. The top 5 on the last day of the season could have won it. Did Arsenal play one? That's the season. Did anyone play each other? That would be interesting. No, they beat Everton, Arsenal, so Arsenal did their part. That is crazy. So 2 teams on 85, 1 on 84, and then 2 on 82, and then Tottenham doing a Tottenham back in 6th. Do you know what? Tottenham doing a Tottenham, that's an old thing. Not anymore, but they'll go back to it at some point. They'll start being Tottenham again. Sorry, any Tottenham fans. Sorry, not sorry. In fact, Palace, Huddersfield, and West Ham going down. Stoke just above it, so it's fairly close to getting that correct. West Brom in 8th, miles off what they should have been doing. That's incredible. That is the top goal scorers in the division. Conceded the most out of those top sort of 5-6 spots. So that was ultimately possibly a downfall. Possibly drew a few too many games as well. But that league table is disgusting. That is crazy. And I've just noticed who the vice captain is, so that's obviously a big transfer. Karlsdorp, the right back from Roma, Dutch guy, has come in this season. Hasn't played yet, but 20 odd million. Silva's left. Anyone out? He didn't get rid of any of Deadwood. I thought Simeone might have had a bit of a clear out of the team, but not yet. Maybe if we in a year or two more, you see a lot more leaving. But Gignac, big French striker, back over from, is it Pumas? Tigres, Mexican team. He did really well. And I mean, that is kind of a Simeone kind of sign you'd expect, big, strong, good finisher, but big, strong player. He likes Costa, doesn't he? Simeone, someone like that, someone quick next to him. Of course, he's got the choice of Lacazette, whatever you want to call him, and Aubameyang as well. So he's got the choices. I'll have a look at the tactic he maybe deploys him in if we can as well. But yeah, he did really well, and he was also banging him in Mexico before that as well. He's too good for that league. Brahimi comes in from Porto. I like this guy, but he hasn't really kicked on to the level that I remember watching him in the Champions League a couple of years ago. He was being touted as like really big. But it just hasn't happened really. But he did really well. 5 assists, 3 goals in 16 games. That's not too shabby for 20 million. And Ziyech again. What's the odds? I remember 6.7 or something. He did okay. He did okay. So slated him there probably needlessly. Look at the tactics. You expect him to do a 4-4-2, but Arsenal aren't really set up for that. But you see Aubameyang. So you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette stuck out on the right. Gignac seems to be on the bench, but he might be injured, or it's because he's on holiday. But he's playing a 4-2-3-1, which is quite interesting to see, really. And the whole of midfield is Ziyech and Ramsey. I can't imagine that keeping too many people out. But we'll have a look at the schedule, see how we got on in the other competitions. I mean, with a league run that close, he must have been, pushing on for the other cups as well. He must have been. So Carabao Cup, he went out to Man City. I mean, that's a tough draw, isn't it? The third round, Man City straight off the bat. That's harsh. But FA Cup, not much better. Beat Burton, but lost to Birmingham. Also, I remember that League Cup final a few years ago. Was it 2007? I think that was just atrocious. No, it's later than that. Later than 07, wasn't it? 2010 maybe? 12 rings a bell. We'd been a good few years without a trophy, and that was our first chance, and it wasn't even a trophy anyone particularly wanted, but it was just to get the trophy hoodoo gone, and it went wrong. It went very wrong. Those were dark days. Community Shield, beat Chelsea 2-1, all good. And Europa League, second knockout. So Karabag, Konyaspor in Turkey again, Braga, easy through the group. PSV in the first knockout round, again quite easy. And away goals to Atalanta, and they've got what's his face, that Gomez, who I like in the FIFA games. Yeah, he's a good player. Didn't do too much last season, so that's a bit disappointing to go out to a team with someone like that. But yeah, did he bring any staff? And that would be an interesting thing to see. Did he get rid of Steve Bold? No, nothing that stands out or jumps out. Let's see who went to Atletico Madrid. I can't see it being Arsene Wenger. Can you imagine? Luis Enrique went there. Okay, interesting. So let's see if Wenger in this save went somewhere. Did anything? He went to Dortmund. Wow, okay. Let's see if he did anything there. Is he just new, or he's just gone? So he hasn't going to have won anything yet. Yeah, he had a year's sabbatical, and he's come back to manage Dortmund. So the odds on Dortmund win the title next year, probably slim. No, who knows? It could give Bayern a run for their money. But we're done with Simeone now. Quite successful. I mean, that league was just crazy. So we've got the final one now, and we'll jump into that from here. So here we are with the final one. It's a name that at the time when the announcement was made about Wenger leaving, he was, I think, quite highly, on the odds and linked and stuff. He is a manager. I don't think he's good enough to take it. He was an ex-Arsenal player. Wasn't a particularly good ex-Arsenal player. He was all right. Didn't particularly like Rangers, but he was good at Rangers. So he was in a really good Rangers team. Remember, he scored a belter for Holland as well. But it is Giovanni van Bronckhorst, current final manager, I believe. Why is he not coming up? Oh, there's a C in there. Of course there is. Could never spell his name. So he is still manager for Arsenal. Let's see how he got on in the Premier League. Man United, of course. Let's see. Aston Villa always get promoted. I always click that when I notice that when I'm clicking through. But he finished third, way off Man United, quite far back off City, but ultimately also quite secure in third ahead of Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham. So St Tottenham's Day. This save was pretty early on. Yeah. So Southampton, Stoke, and Palace getting relegated. West Brom and Swansea way above the places. Maybe not so much West Brom in terms of points, but in places, yes. So we'll go and have a quick look at the transfers. Who did Van Bronckhorst bring in? Lozano from PSV is on his way in by the looks of it, so raiding Dutch football. John Brooks is coming in now. He's the American centre back. I always say Yank. I've got my boss is American, and we all just we always call him the Yank. It just sticks now. But he went to Wolfsburg in this save, and he's already left. Didn't really do much. He's not too bad, but yeah. And Sami Khedira, a sign from Juventus. Bit old now, so quite a lot of money for such an old player, but fantastic player. He was someone I thought we were going to try and hopefully get when he left Real Madrid. I think he went on a free, didn't he? Yeah, he did it on a free to Juve. I was like, you go to Arsenal or Juve, you're going to go Juve probably, certainly at that stage. But I was hoping we were in with a shout for him, but it just never transpired. Unfortunately, he sold Jack Wilshere to Man City for $5 million as well. Like as I mentioned, probably to do with his contract on the way out. Pavon comes in again, the winger from Boca. Boca. I always call him Boca. I think it's Boca. Boca Juniors did decently, like he did last time. We saw him. Ziyech, I imagine, probably didn't do too average. Again, a lot of money for a bit of average rating. And Danilo Pereira is he's a defensive midfielder. I keep getting him mixed up with the right back called Pereira. Or was it a left back? I forget. There was a Porto Pereira left back. I think Uruguayan. I think he was. I remember him scoring a belter from left back. It was left back. I think it was for Uruguay, possibly against England in the World Cup. That would have been, what, 2006, I think. It may not have been against England, but I'm pretty sure it was that World Cup. And he did decent when he came in. Yeah, so he's come in, probably what we need, a good, strong, solid defensive midfielder. So, did he change any staff? No, he's stuck with what he has. Tactics-wise, 4-2-3-1. I think that's probably what most Arsenal managers are going to go with, because that's what the players they've got there are built for, really. To start with, certainly. So let's see how we got on in the Carabao Cup under Gio. So, won the final. Man City in the third round on penalties, and then beat Cardiff in extra time in the fourth round. Birmingham come up again, beat them in the quarterfinals 3-0 comfortably. Liverpool comfortable winners over the two legs, and then 2-1 over Burnley in the final. Ziyech getting a goal as well in that, and Welbs, that guy. So he did doing well. He's won a cup. He's averaged in the league, certainly done better than Wenger's last 2 seasons. So, like I say, not many have worsened it, to be honest. No one's done worse than him, really. Possibly 1 or 2, but in the first save. But FA Cup, scraped her in a replay against Chelsea, beat Bradford 3-0. Obviously they nearly beat us I think they did beat us a couple of years ago, didn't they, actually? I think Gervinho missed like a goal so open, more open than his forehead. And we went out that year. Millwall 4-0. Wouldn't have fancied getting a replay for that, having to go to the Den. My train goes past that every day. Yeah, it looks alright, but not as fierce as it probably used to be, but still not great. And FA Cup 6th round, absolutely demolished by Man City. I mean, that's just embarrassing. Shouldn't be doing that. Did we look at the Community Shield? Lost 3-0 to Chelsea. No, we didn't, but we have now. In Europa League, he got to the final, but he lost, unfortunately. AK Hertha Berlin and Olympic Moscow in the final. In the group stage, rather. Cruised that group. Bit of a stumble in the second game against Hertha Berlin, but wasn't a problem. Krasnodar in the 2 Russian teams, first knockout round and quarterfinals, both knocked out quite easily. Atalanta again, knocked out quite a tight game, 3-0, you think job done, but they pinched a goal in the away leg to win, 4-3 on aggregate. Hoffenheim, Nagelman again, scraped through again, but then unfortunately lost to Liverpool 1-0 in the Europa League final. So Liverpool not doing what they've done in real life and getting to the Champions League final, but they have still reached the European final. So let's see who replaced him at, I think it was Feyenoord. Might not show it. No, it's not going to show it. And finally, Wenger. He's gone to Dortmund as well. So let's see, is that just now? Yep, just now. So he's been there about 2 weeks. So he's not going to have done much there either. So it's interesting. He went to PSG in 1 and Dortmund in 2, and the rest of them he didn't go anywhere. So that's the end of this experiment for this time around. If you have got any more you want to, see me, any managers, who are popping up in the news, or you want to see me do, let me know. Drop me a comment on the video. While you're there, drop a sub on my channel. I've got some, some Shakhtar content coming out 3 times a week. I am looking at getting some FIFA going, Fortnite back going again, a few other things in the irons in the fire as well. It's just getting the time to actually play them and record them. It's a bit tough. I'm trying to get a bit ahead with the Football Manager as well, which is eating up a lot of time. And my friend's got his internet back, so I'm jumping on a lot of Fortnite recently, so that's again eating up a lot of time. He wants to play Black Ops 3 again now. I think it's Black Ops 3 or Black Ops, one of them. So that's going to eat away a bit more probably at some point as well. But yeah, other than this, on the top of this experiment, I just want to say as well, just as a final thing, it was good to see Wenger get a good send off in the end. He got round of applause. He had the banners. He had the plane go over the stadium saying mercy Arsene, all that sort of stuff. It was good to see him get the send off I think he deserved. His spell can probably be classed into 2 different parts. It's like the first 10 years, 11 years or so, and then the second. Second possibly ruining a little bit of the first, but a lot of that was the stadium move, and don't need to go into it too much, but just for myself as well, thank you Arsene. I remember what the club was like before you came, and it wasn't a pretty sight. It wasn't fun to be an Arsenal fan, and you made it fun. You made exciting football, brought great players. some of the best players that play for Arsenal played under your spell. Thierry Henry, Ian Wright had some of his best times under you. Maybe not actually. He was quite good before that, to be fair. Dennis Bergkamp was amazing under you. Pires, Lundberg, Vieira, Sol Campbell. The list goes on. There's so many. A lot of shockers as well, but we're going to remember the good ones. So yeah, thanks Arsene, and until next time for the next episode, whatever that is you tune into, I'll see you later. Take care.